Hello, hello, you guys. Let's see. I'm checking. I am, let's see. Test. Yay! Okay, we got it. Sorry, I'm so sorry, you guys. 20 minutes later, and we've got it sorted out, I think. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening with my phone, but my phone decided it didn't want to work anymore. So thankfully, my helper, Marie, is here today. So I was able to steal her phone. I made her an admin on my page really quickly. And we fixed all the settings on her phone so that I could turn it and make it the right way. And I think we are good now. So I apologize for the delay. Thank you so much for sticking with me and for coming back. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but if you're just joining me, welcome back. Sorry if you watched 1, 2, or 3, or 4th attempt, but we're finally good now. So I'll give it a few minutes for you guys to hop on here with me. We are in day 2 of Christmas in July week. If you're new here, welcome. Hey, Marsha. My name is Jen Pittobach, and I'm on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. It's a little hot and steamy, although it's not too humid today. It's a little bit, but not bad. So we are hanging out, but you will hear my air conditioner because it's a little bit warm for upstairs. The studio where I work is actually the attic, basically, of an old house. So it gets pretty steamy up here. So I apologize if that's distracting at all, and I apologize again for the delay in getting this set up. But we're here, we're good, and hopefully, if you're on my list, you got the PDF tutorial for today's card. It is a super simple card. I kind of feel like I should have saved the card that we did yesterday for later in the week because it's such a good piece de resistance, right? But, oh good, I'm glad it's not. On my phone, it sometimes sounds a little loud, so that's all. But today is a really good, simple card. It's another great example for you of a card to do when you're doing mass production. So, it's sometimes hard for me, and I don't know if it's the same with you, it's really hard for me sometimes to work in a simple manner because we want to use all our things, right? We want to do all the layers, all the dyes, all the things, but when you're mass producing, it's super important to keep it super simple. And I do really like to let the paper shine. I know you guys might have a piece of paper or two, so it's always good to let that do the heavy lifting, and then you can just kind of do some simple stamping and some simple like sentiments and things. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm just giving it a little bit of a second here to let everybody find me again because I know I was on and off and on and off. I tried to delete all the old videos so that there's no confusion. So let me just do a double check here. While we're doing this, let's just check in and let me know where you're watching from. I always love to see that. Okay, so it looks like I've deleted all the old ones, so we should be good. Hey Diane, hi Carla. Yeah, so we are going to jump into day 2 here. I'm going to go ahead and hopefully this works the same as my, she has an iPhone and I have a regular Samsung. So hopefully this will work the same. Bear with me for a second. We'll make it work. I will not ditch you again. But let's just go ahead and turn this around. It might be backwards is the only thing I'm going to be weary of. Why is my thing is not wanting to behave? Okay, it does not look like it's backwards, so that's good. I've always, like, I have a lot of friends that have iPhones, and they always say how it's backwards when they flip it, like the way I do. But it seems like we're good. We're a little zoomed in, but I think we'll be okay. All right, my friends. I think Halifax, Mass. So you're not too far from me, Joanne. All right. So I think we're ready to get started. I am using the Regal Reindeer today. I will say it's kind of funny. Like I planned this. Hey, Linda. I am back for like the 5th time. It's all good though. I planned this Christmas in July week knowing that the online exclusives were largely Christmas themed. However, we did a really good job promoting those apparently because many of them have sold out already, but most of them are coming back. Actually, I think all of them are coming back. So it's just a matter of time. But in the meantime, we've got this really cute Regal Reindeer that's part of the annual catalog actually this year. So this is in our annual, so you can buy this any time of year. It's actually a really cute set and one that I bought last year that I didn't actually use. So I'm kind of excited to use it. And I wanted to keep it super simple, but still use the reindeer. And it can be really hard to use a line art stamp when you're trying to keep it simple, because our inclination is to make that, to take the time to color it and all that kind of stuff. And then that becomes a not simple card, right? So it's not something we can mass produce. So that was my goal with today's card, is to show you how you could use like a line art stamp like this and still use it in a way that keeps the card simple. So that's our goal today. Hey Shelly, hey Kathy. So this is the card I made. I'm using the, it's called Glorious Gingham. And it's got, let me pull the other one. It's got 5 colors in it. So you can see it's got the Moody Mauve, Pretty Peacock, Lemon Lime Twist, Blueberry Bushel, and Pecan Pie. So these are the colors that come in this paper pack, okay? And so I challenged myself, again, like we did with the cards yesterday. If you missed yesterday's, this was yesterday's card, and I used a 6x6 paper pack, and I used a variety of the patterns to create this card. Well, I wanted to do the same thing with this pack, to be able to make multiple cards out of this pack. So you get 8 of each color. And the only one I deemed that I wouldn't be able to do as a Christmas card, which I probably could, now that I think about it, I could probably do it in this color as well. It would still be kind of Christmassy if we, it's kind of a red, right? It's Moody Mauve, but it's kind of, now that I'm looking at it, it kind of looks reddish pink. So I could probably do it with this one too. So the only color that you couldn't use easily, although this kind of looks like snow too, so you could still make this work too. But again, I was trying not to add too many different things to make the cards too complicated. But you get 8 of each color. So what I did was, you can see this is the Pretty Peacock. I just used Pecan Pie ink, and I used a little bit of the Pecan Pie ribbon, which is really cute. So I'm using just a tiny piece, which means I can probably get a dozen, probably 2, 3, 4 dozen, 5 dozen cards out of this one roll of ribbon, because I'm just using that tiny little bit of a piece. And then I just used the one ink pad. So super simple, but you can see, so for the pecan one, I added in some red to make that look like a Christmas card. And then this one, I just let it, again, be the Pecan Pie and then the Lemon Lime Twist. So you can see that we made it into a holiday card. And like I said, now that I'm looking at this again, I think I can probably do it with the pink and the red, the pink and the blue too. Blue kind of reads almost like snowy to me, so we could do it in that vibe. And like I said, this looks almost red in this video. So I think you could make the cards out of all 5 colors, and then you're gonna have 8 of each color. So what is that, 8 times 5? What is that, 40 sheets? So you'd have 40 cards out of this one pack of paper, right? And then, like we said yesterday, you can use the scraps to decorate envelopes, decorate the insides of your cards, do any of that kind of stuff. So it's a really easy, super simple. And if you don't have the reindeer, you could use any sort of like a wreath, you could do a snowman, you could do whatever you had for a simple line art stamped image, and just use it as the outline. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll show you how super simple this card is. So again, I'm using the Pretty Peacock, one of my favorite colors that returned into our core collection, and I'm just cutting it at 8.5 by 5.5, and I cut the pattern paper to 4 by 5.25, so that makes a perfect little mat for this. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut that down. Okay. So again, if you're just joining us live, sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully we've got that sorted out now. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, tomorrow's video will be pre-recorded, so that shouldn't be a problem. Thursday though, hopefully, I'll be on my own here, so I'm hopeful I can figure out what's going on with my phone. You might see me do a test later in the group. And actually, I do need to do our mystery host drawing from last month, so maybe I'll test that out later tonight and just see what's going on with my phone. I need a block. I didn't keep all my stamps set up, so let me pull those out. All right. Oh my goodness. I need this. So we're gonna take I'm gonna use Merry Christmas for this one. That's another thing I recommend too. Like, I don't know if maybe with you it's probably a little bit not as hard, but sometimes I have people on my list that I'm not sure of their belief systems. So I try to do some cards that are like yesterday's, where they say things like peace on earth or enjoy the season, or season's greetings, things like that, that are a little bit more generic, because I don't want to send a Merry Christmas to somebody that I'm not really sure. Most of the people, like obviously my family, my friends, I know what their beliefs are for the most part, but sometimes when you're sending to friends and acquaintances and things like that, you might not want to do that because they might not celebrate, and then you don't want to, I don't think anybody really gets, well, I shouldn't say anybody. I think people, kind of appreciate the gesture even if it's not their religion, but sometimes I like to keep it, just be careful about those things, I guess. So I'm just stamping the reindeer and the sentiment on these two pieces here, and I'm using the pecan pie stamp pad. This is a 5 by 3/4 inch piece of basic white, and this one is a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I'm going to attach that to a 3 by 3 inch piece of Pretty Peacock. This is a really good like monochromatic style card, but before I attach this, I wanted to grunge him up just a little bit, because it's really simple, it's easy to do. It adds a little interest to the card without adding a whole lot of extra steps. So I'm using one of our old Stampin' Sponges. Unfortunately, we don't make these anymore, but you could use a makeup sponge, you could use a sponge dauber, you could use a blending brush, like whatever you have for like inking. I like to blot it off a little bit, and then we're just gonna rub that right along the side of our cardstock. Okay, so that's that. Like so, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this away. I don't have any accidents, and I'm gonna take my adhesive and we're gonna attach this to the card itself. Like so. All right, so there's that part. Before I actually go about the next step, I'm gonna take a little bit of adhesive. I'm gonna put it in this upper right corner here. I'm gonna cut just a tiny little piece of the pecan pie ribbon that I have. I wanna cut it kind of on an angle as well. Whoops, I just stuck that down in the adhesive. All right. And then I'm going to, did I do that on the right side? I did. I'm just gonna tack that down into the adhesive, and I'm gonna grab my stapler and just staple that in place. It adds a little bit of bling, and it's gonna pick up the jewels that I'm gonna put on in a minute. So I liked to add that little bit of silver. It's just, I treat it like another embellishment almost. Some people don't really like the staple look, but I really do. So it's really cute. I used to have the Stampin' Up! One that was like the mini stapler. I wish I didn't get rid of that, because I did use that a lot, but the regular one works too. So I'm gonna just go ahead and trim these down, these edges. Again, I didn't want to do anything crazy with like punching the edges or die cutting the edges. So just using my scissors makes that go super fast. And then I'm gonna tape this down in the middle of my card. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it here. And the good thing about this paper as well is it's kind of got the lines already on there for you. So like I don't have to stress about getting it straight, because it's already like it's almost like grid paper right on the pattern paper. So I'm gonna use some dimensionals to attach this to my card. And then all we have left is to add some bling. I am putting it pretty close to that S, because I want the white to show on this side too. I could make it a little bit longer, but it's fine. I like it like this. I'm gonna trim this down just a little bit because it's kind of hanging off a lot. It's fine that it hangs off a little bit, but that's a little bit much. All right. There's that. It's a little too pointy. There we go. All right. So that's done. Now, like I said, the last thing we want to do is to add some rhinestones, which, where did I put those yesterday? Here they are. All right, so I'm gonna grab my take your pick tool, which is here. And we're just gonna add some bling. And again, I'm using the silver rhinestones. You could use whatever you wanted. You could use something a little bit bigger or sparklier. I went with the thing that's probably most economical. You get a ton of these on one sheet. You could do a ton of cards with this one layout and this one pack of paper and this one stamp set. So there you go. There are our 3 versions, and like I said, now that I think about it, I think you could do it in the blue and the pink as well. So with that pack of paper, do I have the sheet? I think there's, I'm sure I'm doing my math right. Yeah, 40 sheets in there. So you could do 40 cards from that one pack of paper, all in the same variety. Super easy to do mass assembly. So I would cut all of my squares, do all my stamping, do all my layering, do my stamping of the sentiment at the same time you do the reindeer, and you would have a nice super simple stack of cards super quickly. So there you have it, super quick and easy. And look at, it looks great with either pattern too, right? So there's 2 different patterns in there in the different colors, and it works with either one. So you're still getting variety to your friends and family, but it's keeping it really, really easy for you. And to knock off 40 cards with 1 ink pad, 1 stamp, or 2 stamps if you count the sentiment, and 1 pack of paper is a pretty miraculous thing to do, right? So I hope you guys like these cards. Again, we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's video will be pre-recorded because I am working all day. So that will be sent out with the link to the video. It will only be, I might post it in my Facebook page later in the day, but it will be delivered via email first thing in the morning. So if you're on my email list, you'll get it first thing in the morning, before 11, like usual. And then I will be live again at 2 p.m. on Thursday for our video after that. So I won't be live tomorrow, but I will be live again on Thursday, and hopefully I will get my phone figured out by then. So send me all the prayers that works, because I have no idea. I didn't change anything from yesterday, so I'm not sure why my phone is being finicky, but we'll figure that out, and we will be back in your inbox tomorrow morning. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we will catch you next time. Bye for now.